Good morning, Hoopers. Welcome back. Today we're going to be covering a quick lesson about one-handed and two-handed barrel rolls. If you haven't already checked out my one-handed and two-handed isolations video, I highly recommend popping over, giving that a view, because some of those tips and techniques will be helpful in creating this movement as well. So we're going to start with a two-handed barrel roll, and just like our two-handed isolation, we're going to bring the hands together at 6 o'clock. We have an inside grip. We are gripping the hoop from the inside. Thumbs are facing each other, and fingers are on the outside of the hoop. Now, just like in isolation, we're going to begin to drive the hoop. I'm going to start moving to my right side, so in the direction of my right pinky, I'm going to drive the hoop up to 3 o'clock. Now, normally in an isolation, this is where we would flip our grip and continue to drive the hoop around the circle. For a barrel roll, instead of the hands moving, the body will move. The hands stay on the hoop the entire time in this grip position. So I'm driving the hoop a quarter turn. As it comes up and I have an awkward upper elbow, I'm going to turn my body the same direction as my arm, my elbow that's lifted. Now, as I start to drive the hoop up to midnight, 12 o'clock, I'm going to turn all the way around and then driving down to the opposite side, another quarter turn, I will turn my body and then I drive the hoop back down to 6 o'clock and I face forward once again. So other side, we drive up, quarter turn, all the way to the back, turn the body, quarter turn to the side, and then facing front back at 6 o'clock. So smoothing it out. Other side. Now, to really get the illusionary effect of this movement, we want to make sure that the bottom of the hoop is always resting on this invisible plane, this invisible table, just like we do for an isolation. That's where we get that really cool magic visual effect. So in order to maintain this while the body is moving, since we are facing away from the hoop at one point, you really need to make sure there's a big opening in the shoulders and arms to have enough space for the hoop to continue moving behind the back. I do recommend warming up with some big arm circles, shoulder rolls, anything to help bring a little more mobility and space to your upper body. So this is a basic two-handed barrel roll, and there's another variation of a barrel roll with two hands that we can try as well. Sometimes in our hooping practice, we find ourselves here at 3 and 9, gripping the hoop on opposite sides. My thumbs are facing down, and I'm still on that inside grip. In fact, it's the same grip as I use here at 6 o'clock. My arms are wider apart. This is just going to create a different effect, and it's going to feel a little bit different in the shoulders. It's going to be a little more intense, so again, making sure you've warmed up. The action is exactly the same. We're going to choose a side where you're going to roll up, quarter turn, half turn face behind, quarter turn to the side, and back down. So that was a little sloppy. I'm going to see if I can smooth it out as I do it to the other side. Notice my arms are back and my chest is lifted, so I'm not bending into my low back. That's really important as well. We want to keep those low back muscles safe. So those are your basic two-handed barrel rolls. They're a really great movement to come into after some little isolation tricks, just to start to move the body a little bit more with the hoop. So one-handed barrel rolls. We're going to be doing it on both sides with both hands. So let's start with my dominant hand, which for me is my right. And it's a lot easier to do this one-handed by moving in the direction of your pinky finger. You can do it on both sides, but it is a little bit more strenuous into the wrist to go in the direction of your thumb. However, we will practice both sides. So inside grip, 6 o'clock, one hand. Moving in the direction of my pinky, the body moves as the hoop turns. And then driving back down to 6. Obviously, with one arm, this is going to require a lot more strength in your upper arm, especially when we get up to this position, to try to keep that illusion of the hoop resting on that invisible table. Now let's try it thumb led. Same idea, quarter turn, turn to the back, quarter turn to the side, back to the front. Leading with the thumb, coming up. This is where it gets a little sensitive in the wrist. Driving down and over. Again, with the thumb. And the more strength that you start to build in your arm, the more fluid you can make this movement. Let's try it with our non-dominant hand. So starting pinky led. And again. You can see I'm a little wonky, and that's because this arm isn't quite as strong. Thumb led. And again. And then notice too, you can start to emphasize the isolation of the hoop and start to add in some more elements, some more flair into your barrel roll. So I hope that was helpful, and I will see you next time.